Dear students, welcome to Kamal's biology classes, and today our topic is human heart, its structure, working and functioning. But remember, to understand how a human heart works, we first need to understand to what system it is associated. And the system to which the human heart is associated is known as circulatory system, or also known as cardiovascular system. Cardiovascular system is combined from two words. First word is cardia, second is vascular. Cardia word itself means heart, and vascular means the body fluid, blood and the vessels. It means circulatory system is a system which permits the circulation and transportation of various substances and body fluids into the body. As we all know, there is only limited amount of body portions that can accommodate or that can absorb material, but all the body needs energy for its proper functioning, and that materials which provide energy to the certain body parts is provided or is transported with the help of this system known as circulatory system. A circulatory system, or a cardiovascular system, or a vascular system, or a blood vascular system, you can call it by any name, has three main components, no matter which the organism is: a fluid, a passage and a pumping organ. Fluid means the body fluid or the fluid which will help in the transportation and circulation of substances. In case of humans, there are two body fluids, namely blood and lymph. Blood, as you all know, is red in color because of the pigment hemoglobin. Okay. And lymph, it is the extracellular waste which is collected by the lymph vessels from the extracellular spaces and is yellowish in color, yellowish fluid. Okay. Next is the passage. Passage means the path the fluids will travel into the body for their transportation, and the path is provided by a tube-like structures known as vessels. In human body, there are two kinds of vessels: blood vessels, which will help in the transportation and circulation of blood, and lymph vessels or lymphatic vessels, which will help in the transportation of lymph. Blood vessels, as we all know, are mainly of three types: arteries, veins and capillaries. Last but the main part of a circulatory system is a pumping muscular organ. A muscular pumping organ, or you can simply say a pumping organ. Pumping organ in our case is heart. Let us now study in detail the structure, working and functioning of heart. Let us now begin with the structure and the details of human heart. Human heart, as we all know, is a central organ in our body which is located just here. The position of human heart is about the middle of thoracic cavity, between the lungs and above the diaphragm. It is centrally located, but the human heart is said to be located on the left. It is not located on the left, but the lower portion of the heart is slightly tilted towards the left. It is not located towards the left. Okay, not located on the left, but it is located in the middle. Next is the nature. The human heart is a hollow and muscular organ. Remember, hollow means it is empty from inside. Muscular means the membranes of the heart are covered with muscles, and the muscles with which the membranes of the heart are covered are involuntary in nature. Involuntary means muscles which work on their own. The muscles which we can't control their functioning, they will work on their own. And the muscles which are attached to heart are known as cardiac muscles. Cardiac muscles, they help in pumping of heart. How they help in pumping of heart? By rhythmic contraction and relaxation of heart, producing heartbeat. What is contraction and relaxation? Contraction means decreasing from the original volume, and relaxation means from that particular contractile moment obtaining the original size of that particular component. Next is size. A human heart is just like the size of the hands of a fist. Okay, and it is approximately 12 centimeters into 9 centimeters of size, and average weight is of about 300 grams. And if we look about the structure of human heart, externally what you will see that it is divided into two main components. A upper component which is smaller in nature and a lower component which is large in structure. But internally you will see that the heart is divided into four chambers rather than two portions. Four chambers which are again, for example, the upper portion. Upper portion from outside it is seen as one. But from inside it is also seen that the upper portion is also divided into two portions. Similarly, the lower portion is also divided into two portions. The upper portion or the smaller portion which is broad in nature is known as atrium or auricular chamber. And the lower portion which is pointed in nature, not broad but pointed in nature and slightly tilted to the left, is known as ventricular chamber or ventricles. Let us now study in detail the structure of human heart. Human heart externally is covered by a membrane which is double layered, and the membrane is known as pericardium. Pericardium is double layered membrane. It means it is divided into two portions. First one is which is attached to heart, the inner membrane known as visceral pericardium. Visceral means attached to a certain organ, or visceral itself means viscera means organ. And the next, the outer region of pericardium is known as parietal pericardium, which is the outer layer of pericardium. Between the inner, the visceral, and the outer parietal pericardium, there is a fluid which helps in the absorption of shock, also helps in the reduction of friction during the pumping of heartbeat, and that fluid is known as pericardial fluid. Now let us look into the structure of internal heart. Internally, as we have discussed, that heart is divided into four chambers. The upper chambers are called auricles and the lower chambers are called ventricle. But internally also the auricles or ventricle are separated by a middle line known as septum. The septum which separates both the auricles, right auricle and left auricle, is known as auricular septum. And the septum which divides ventricles, that is into two portions, right ventricle and the left ventricle, is known as ventricular septum. This septum helps in what? To keep blood in two different components, right part of the heart and left part of the heart. Why there is such a need? Because human contains two types of blood, not two types exactly, but yes, blood itself is divided into two parts. One we can say the blood which is rich in oxygen, and the other blood which is rich in carbon dioxide. The blood which is rich in oxygen is known as oxygenated blood, which is used by the body. And the blood which is rich in carbon dioxide is not used by the body and is known as deoxygenated blood. So there is a need to separate deoxygenated blood from the oxygenated one. That is why there is a division of right and left portions of the heart, where right portion of the heart receives and deoxygenated blood and the left part of the heart receives oxygenated blood. Internally also, auricles and ventricles are also separated from each other by AV septum, known as auricular ventricle septum or auricular ventricular septum. This septum helps in the division of auricles and ventricles from each other. The septum itself is guarded, or you can say itself is held in a position by certain muscular which are papillary in nature. Muscles which are papillary in nature, thread-like structures which hold the particular septum at a particular place, is known as chordae tendineae. These are muscle layers which help in keeping the valves, or you can say the structures which differentiate auricle and ventricle into different components in place, and this structure is known as chordae tendineae. And remember, the walls of auricles are thin in nature. Why they are thin? There are two main reasons. One main reason is that they receive blood. so they do not need extra energy for receiving. And second one, their function is only to pump blood to the nearby ventricles. So they do not pump blood to the extra body or other body parts. That is why they do not need such more muscular walls. Whereas the walls of ventricles are thick in nature and highly muscular. Why? Because they pump blood at larger distances in the body. Inside ventricles or in the walls of ventricle, there is also differentiation. Right ventricle's wall is thin as compared to the walls of left ventricle. Why? Because right ventricle pumps blood to lungs for oxygenation, which is nearby to heart. Whereas left ventricles pump blood with high pressure to all rest of the body parts, whether it is the tip of the head or tip of the toe, lower portion of the body and the upper portion of the body. That is why left ventricle have thicker muscular walls for more pumping and more pressure creating. Students, let us now study the vessels or the blood vessels, also known as the great blood vessels associated with heart. There are many blood vessels associated with heart, but let us study one by one each of them. First of all, remember that auricles and ventricles are separated by each other through auriculoventricular aperture. Remember, on the right side, the auriculoventricular aperture, on this side, it is tricuspid in nature. It is of this nature. It means there are three flaps in it. And on the left side, there is a bicuspid valve, and it is a double flap in nature. Now let us come to the blood vessels. Why this is important? The bicuspid and tricuspid valve, because they prevent the backflow of blood into each chamber. Okay. Next, let us study about the vessels of heart, especially on the right hand side. Firstly, on the right hand side, right auricle receives blood from the greater parts of the body, from upper as well as the lower parts of the body, through a main vein known as vena cava. And the vena cava which collects blood from the superior or the upper portion of the body is known as superior vena cava, and the vena cava which collects blood from the lower portion of the body is known as inferior vena cava. And the blood from the vena cava collects into the right auricle. Then the right auricle, through its auriculoventricular aperture, pumps blood into the right ventricle. Through that right ventricle, the blood will be pumped into this vein or this tube-like structure known as pulmonary artery. Pulmonary here means lungs, and arteries, the arteries or the vessel which carry blood to the lungs. Okay, and it is again separated into right and left pulmonary arteries. After oxygenation, the deoxygenated blood goes to lungs for its oxygenation. After oxygenation, blood comes back to the left auricle, the oxygenated blood, through pulmonary veins. Veins arising from lungs which carry oxygenated blood and pours blood into the left auricle. Afterwards, left auricle through its aperture pumps blood into the left ventricle. After pumping into the left ventricle, the oxygenated blood with high blood pressure is pumped into the aorta or dorsal aortic arc or dorsal aorta, which pumps or which transports blood to the whole body. So these are the blood vessels associated with the heart. But there are some blood vessels known as coronary arteries which are associated with the membranes of heart. Their main function is to supply oxygenated blood to heart membranes and muscles. After usage of that oxygenated blood, when the blood is deoxygenated, rich in oxygen, it is again from the coronary veins pumped into the right auricles. Thus, in this way, we can see that the blood runs from heart 2 times. That is why this system of circulation of blood is known as double circulation. Let us study the details of double circulation. Let's now study what is double circulation. Double circulation means that the blood flows from heart 2 times. One from the total right portion of the heart and 1 time from total left portion of the heart. Let us now study in detail how the blood supplies to the heart and from the heart and in what ways it is transported. Firstly, we know double circulation is of two types, pulmonary and systemic circulation. Pulmonary means lungs. Pulmonary, the word itself is associated with lungs. And systemic means the body systems, rest of the body systems other than lungs. Pulmonary circulation is when heart transports blood to lungs and lungs again transport blood to heart. Whereas systemic circulation means when heart transports blood to the rest of the body and rest of the body again the blood is connected from rest of the body to heart. Remember, when body tissues are working, it means the whole of the body is working, it means it is undergoing metabolic activities. And when the metabolic activities are happening, we are using oxygen. Thus, the body tissues get deprived of oxygen and are rich in carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide is eliminated via blood. And that blood, which is rich in carbon dioxide, is known as deoxygenated blood. The deoxygenated blood from the body tissues is connected via vena cava. After collection, it is poured into the right atrium. From the right atrium, through tricuspid valve of auriculoventricular aperture on the right side, it is poured into the right ventricle. After pouring into the right ventricle contracts and the blood is poured. Remember, the deoxygenated blood is poured into the pulmonary artery, which carries the blood to lungs. And the main function of lungs in double circulation is oxygenation of blood. It means removal of carbon dioxide and addition of oxygen. It means lungs take up carbon dioxide and release oxygen into the blood capillaries. After oxygenation, the blood is rich in oxygen, which can be used up by the body. Thus, the oxygenated blood travels from pulmonary veins to left atria or left auricle, and from these it travels through bicuspid valve of auriculoventricular aperture of left hand side, afterwards to the left ventricle. After entering into the left ventricle contracts and the left ventricle supplies blood to rest of the body tissues again in the rich form of oxygenated blood via aorta. And remember, whether it is the pulmonary vein, aorta, vena cava or pulmonary artery, all of them have valves as those of right and left ventricles or auricles, which are known as semilunar valves, which prevents the backflow of blood. And this is how the double circulation, the double flow of blood passes into the body. Let us now study what is the heartbeat, what is the origin of heartbeat, and how actually heart beats for proper circulation of blood. Origin of heartbeat. What is a heartbeat? One complete contraction and one complete relaxation of a heart. It means one contraction and one relaxation of a heart comprises one heartbeat. In scientific terms, contraction is known as systole and relaxation of heart is known as diastole. Remember, in case of humans, a heartbeat lasts for about 0.85 seconds. It means less than a second, 0.85 seconds. That is why our heart rate is about 70 to 90 beats per minute in case of adults above the age of 13 or 14. And in case of infants, the juvenile stage, it will have a heart rate of 90 to 110 beats per minute. Always remember, smaller the size of an organism or smaller the size of a heart, more is the heart rate. Why? Because there is a loss of more body heat from a smaller surface area. Remember, in humans, heartbeat lasts for about 0.85 seconds, in which the phase of contraction lasts for about 0.45 seconds and the phase of relaxation lasts for about 0.40 seconds, comprising 0.85 seconds. And how the heartbeat is originated? Heartbeat is not actually physical mechanism, but it is more of an electrical conduction of nerve signal. A nerve signal, for example sodium potassium pump, or for example any other pump, there is polarization effect. Polarization and depolarization of ions inside the membrane of heart muscles. After polarization or depolarization, a nerve or you can say an impulse generates in this area known as pacemaker of the heart or known as SCN, verbally sinoatrial node. It means this is the region where heartbeat originates or from where the heartbeat starts. From SCN, the impulse of the signal, electrical signal or the nerve signal travels towards or all the regions of the heart, and it interacts with the second region in its path, which is close to the tricuspid valve of auriculoventricular aperture of the right hand side, known as AVN, atrioventricular node. SCN node, SA node and atrioventricular node. These are the two junctions where origin of heartbeat starts. From AVN, nerve signal travels through a fiber, a bundle of fiber known as bundle of His. These fibers conduct the nerve impulse into the membranes or the walls of the heart. These are conducted via certain network of fibers which are divided into small networks known as Purkinje's fiber. Let us now study in detail what is systole, what is diastole, and how these both to accommodate to form complete one heartbeat, and what is cardiac cycle. Phase of our segment is cardiac cycle, or also known as the heartbeat, that how heart properly beats and what are the mechanism behind the heartbeat. This can be divided into two portions. First, when the blood is pumped out of the heart, and second, when the blood is received in the heart. It means when the heart contracts, it means it reduces from its original volume. It means the heart will contract and the blood will be pushed out of the heart. Whereas when the heart will relax, the original size or the volume of the heart will increase, thus receiving blood from the outside. First case of when the blood is pumped out. First, if the heart is filled with blood, the ventricles especially, then ventricles, there is a nerve signal which lets the ventricle contract. After the contraction of ventricle, known as ventricular systole, the tricuspid and bicuspid valves close. If you remember, the tri and bicuspid valves are located at the auriculoventricular junction between auricles and ventricles, and their closure produces the first heart sound, that is known as la. If you remember, if you have ever felt your heartbeat, or if you have ever heard your heartbeat in a stethoscope, if you will hear very concentratingly, you will hear two sounds. The first sound, which is made by the heart by the closure of tricuspid and bicuspid valve because of the contraction of ventricles, is known as la. After the ventricle systole, there comes the atrial systole, or before the ventricle systole you can say, but it is in a sequence when the blood is pumped out. Atrial systole means when the auricles receive blood, left auricle from pulmonary vein and right auricle from vena cava. After receiving blood, auricles push blood into the ventricles through bi and tricuspid valves. So they need to be opened when they were closed. After opening of them, the blood passes into the ventricles. But as soon as the blood passes into the ventricles, the valves of aorta and pulmonary artery closes, so that the blood is immediately not pushed into them without any pressure created by the ventricular systole. Afterwards, when the closure of valves of aorta and pulmonary artery occurs, there is production of second sound known as dup. So these two sounds comprises heartbeat. After this event of contraction, there is simultaneously a moment of relaxation also for auricles as well as ventricles. But remember, in the process of contraction, the ventricle contraction and auricular contraction are produced, or you can say are occurred differently. Whereas the diastole is known as joint diastole because both auricles and ventricles relax at the same time. Thus both auricles and ventricles relax. When there is a relaxation, they will increase the size of heart to the original size volume, and they will receive blood from vena cava as well as from pulmonary veins. So this comprises your heartbeat and cardiac cycle.